This for you, another 35 for a friend, and $3,000 for the charity of your choice. Enter now.
Enter once a day now through November 24th at WHBC.com to win.
Live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight.
And welcome everyone to this Wednesday morning and this edition of Spotlight right here on 1480 WHBC. Of course, you can listen to us on the radio, but also catch us on our YouTube channel. Just search 1480 WHBC on YouTube. And also we are live on Facebook right now. So I am very happy to welcome in my good friend, Alan Rodriguez, Julz by Alan Rodriguez. That's what we're going to talk about. It's that time of season. But you know what, Alan, I think that you are year-round, in my opinion.
Well, good morning, Pam. It's nice to be with you again. And I was thinking about this as I was preparing for this morning. We've been together doing this now for a lot of years, haven't we?
A lot of years, yes.
Yeah.
I can't even remember how long.
Your first one, you remember when your first Spotlight was?
I don't. I can't even. It's been a while, though. I would have to go back and look. Do you remember?
I'm guessing. I don't know, because we opened up the Canton store in 2007. And I am thinking it wasn't too much after that,
Yeah.
First few years. I'm thinking, this is my 48th year doing this. And I was, a lot of things. This has been an interesting year. I had my 50th class reunion from Glenwood High School this year, and I go to it, and all these old people were there. And I thought, what happened to the years? But it was really nice. The cool thing was where I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't recognize too many people at first. But then by the end of the night, all the age disappeared, and we kind of went back to those moments in high school. So if there's such a thing as a fountain of youth, we had a little taste of it that night.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. And so, and then in the jewelry, this is my 48th Christmas in the jewelry business. And thinking on the same thing, when I was younger, from Thanksgiving on, the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, we would be open literally almost 7 days a week and 15 to 20 hours a day. That's how busy we were. And I can remember engraving in the late 70s, in the mid 80s, when I bought the House of Stones in New Philadelphia.
Yeah.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm still down at the store engraving, and I made a mistake because I was tired. I threw the mug against the wall, go home, slept for 2 hours, and then came back and started all over again. And fast forward to today, I can barely make it past 9:30 at night. and I think, what happened? So, but I'm still having fun, and the cool thing about the profession, I'm so thankful, because as everyone that knows me, I'm as passionate about this industry as I was the day I started 48 years ago. And I'm really thankful that came into my life. And this year, it's interesting because it changes every year. It changes. The dynamics change. And when it comes to our team, our staffing at both stores, I really feel that we have the best team that I've had in 20 years. And it's kind of like thinking of the Cleveland Browns. It's not one person, it's someone steps up to the plate and everyone works together. And we have so much talent in our store between our jewelers, our gemologists, our engravers, our designers, and our whole sales team. And they work together great in both stores. Really, really, really thankful for that. And when it comes to the season, the big question is how am I feeling? How am I feeling about the season? I still have the jitters. I still have the same anxiety that I've had from day one. But what I find in life is that when people feel good, they feel good about their job, they feel good about their home, they feel good about their community, and they feel good about their world. then they celebrate, and we tend to benefit from those times. And despite everything that's going on in the world right now, when you think of Thanksgiving and going into the Christmas season, we turn most to those that are closest to us, our families, over Thanksgiving. And then nostalgically, we want to do things to kind of preserve that family unit. And from that standpoint, we benefit from it tremendously. About a year ago, in our new Philly store, Thanksgiving, at the same day, we had 5 generations of customer of the same family that we served at the House of Stones in New Philadelphia.
Oh my
which
gosh.
That store goes back to the late 1800s, and I'm the 4th owner of it. And last Thanksgiving, at the same time, and it was a great grandmother that was passing down a necklace to her 12-year-old, I think it's great, I kind of lose track at that point, great granddaughter. And it was a beautiful moment to see. And now, to see it regularly, 3rd and 4th generation coming in. And I can tell stories to these kids about their great grandfather who they never knew, who was gone long before they were born, or great grandmother. So pretty cool.
Yeah. And you know what, Alan, I think that's the thing that makes you different and makes you special because, you are a person who creates an experience for people. And people my age, we've always loved that. We always loved the tradition and, all of that. And now it seems like young people are coming back to that. Are you finding that?
Totally. We had so many different things, but with the internet and this Amazon world that we live in, the marketplace became a global marketplace. In the old days, when a couple was getting engaged, they'd go into their town, say Canton, they go to Belden Village, Millette Mall, and hit 4 or 5 jewelry stores, and then make a decision as to what would be the best choice for them. Where today, you can get on the internet, you can buy diamonds in Mumbai, India, Tel Aviv, Israel, Antwerp, Belgium, and with this global FedEx service, you can get in a couple days if you're gutsy enough to do that. But so what's happening is I'm finding now that these young couples, this younger generation, is starving for that personal interaction, those relationships that we have, and for someone to kind of share those stories with them. And we see this year a significant difference in that. Thanksgiving right now, there are families that the kids have relocated. They got out of college, they've moved across the country. And so these next 4 days, I have appointments from Los Angeles, Denver, Atlanta, New Orleans, New York City, that are all coming in because they're home for Thanksgiving, visiting their family, and they haven't really established relationships that they're comfortable with where they presently live. So they thought, let's go see Alan, let's go to Julz and see what they have at Julz or the House of Stones in New Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's another thing, haven't really established relationships in other places. I think that says a lot because I don't think there are a lot of you out there,
No.
places.
And so this post-pandemic invention of the Zoom world that we're living in right now, I could sit right here, I can hold up a bracelet, I can hold up a necklace, I can go through pretty much the same presentation with someone totally across the country. Not really the same presentation because it's sitting across from someone. It's still a little different experience. And you were talking about earlier before we got on the show, how, my early days with you, we're sitting right across from each other in the same studio. And here, it's close, not quite the same, but still close. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just kind of the way of the world these days now, right?
Yeah. It sure is.
So what, is Thanksgiving a busy time for you as well? I mean, we always talk about when are the busy times, but I feel like you have busy times all the time.
Well, we do. Thankfully, we do. And in the old days, my early days, Christmas season, which was pretty much from Thanksgiving through Christmas, represented almost 50% of our gross revenue for the year. Almost half of all our business occurred in that 30-day period. Pretty scary. And that's why you see so many stores that are hiring seasonal help. They want them just for, the 30-day period to kind of staff up, and then they let them all go in January. Well, our business model, I never really felt comfortable with that. So we don't really hire seasonal help, but we keep the same staff, the same team, all 12 months of the year. And because we want our best foot forward any time of year. So we've been shifting a lot. Engagements, typically Christmas was always the number one time, but we've been shifting that now. You see almost all 12 months of the year, Christmas and Valentine's Day are still, the greatest percentage. But, and then we have birthdays, anniversaries, we have anytime celebrations of life, and people are graduating and everything. So fortunately, we average pretty consistent. December right now is about 25% of our entire year. So we've cut that in half and shifted it to the rest of the year.
All right, we'll take our first break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about, what's popular these days and what kind of things can we find at Julz by Alan Rodriguez. We'll do that as Spotlight continues right here on 1480 WHBC.
And for the first time, the Canton South Wildcats have won a regional championship.
The Canton South Wildcats take on Cleveland Glenville in a Division II state semifinal on 1480 WHBC and Mix 94.1.
We asserted our will. We scored. We score every drive about the last one. Come and cheer us into town because we're bringing home a trophy.
And the Massillon Tigers back in the Division II state semifinal. They take on Cincinnati Anderson, streaming on WHBCSports.com.
I'm Nate Moore, head football coach of the Massillon Tigers. There's only one place for high school football, 1480 WHBC.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This holiday season, Famous Footwear is the place to shop the season's hottest shoes for the whole family with the Famous BOGO event. For a limited time, when you buy one pair, get the second half off from all your favorite brands like New Balance, Bear Paw, Adidas, and more. Give the gift of famously great shoes and savings this holiday season. Shop famous.com or bring the family into a Famous Footwear near you. Buy one item, get a second item of equal or lesser value for half price. Some exclusions apply.
Coming to the Palace Theater, Vocal Fusion, a pop a cappella group taking the music scene by storm. Come hear the sounds of the season as they perform traditional and contemporary holiday songs arranged for 17 amazing singers. Tickets for the Friday, December 15th and Saturday, December 16th concerts are available at vocalfusion.org. Both concerts at the Canton Palace Theater start at 7 p.m. Tickets start at only $20. Visit vocalfusion.org.
Honey, can you swing by the post office and grab some stamps?
Done.
And drop off these packages?
Sure thing, honey.
Oh, and get the tracking info.
Got it.
But you haven't moved.
I know. How great is that?
This holiday season, the Postal Service is closer than ever with convenient ship-from-home services like label printing, free package pickup, and delivery notifications. You can send more holiday joy from the comfort of home. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Ship from home at USPS.com/holidayjoy.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January, because mulch. We're cutting prices on your favorite brands this holiday season. Save on Milwaukee, Steel, and Lincoln Electric in-store or at northerntool.com.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hi, this is Alan Rodriguez from Julz, the area's newest, most unique fine jewelry store, located in downtown Canton. What makes us special? You'll see it in the beauty of our diamonds. You'll feel it in the craftsmanship of our jewelry, and you'll believe it with the professionalism of our staff. From our in-house full-time jewelers to our national award-winning designers, our genuine desire is to provide an exceptional jewelry buying experience at Julz in downtown Canton and Rodriguez's House of Stones in New Philadelphia.
Sleep Outfitters Black Friday sale is going on now. Save up to $800 on adjustable sets from Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster. Or choose any size Sealy spring mattress for the twin size price, starting at just $219. Plus, get free delivery with qualifying purchases, and we'll even haul away your old mattress. Come in today and let our expert outfitters help you find the right mattress to fit your body and your budget. Enjoy huge savings during the Black Friday sale, now at Sleep Outfitters.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And welcome back to Spotlight on this Wednesday morning. Pam Cook with you this morning. And we are talking with Alan Rodriguez, Julz by Alan Rodriguez, and of course, House of Stones in New Philadelphia. And, Alan, talk a little bit about, some of the items that people will see when they come into the store. We talk about, engagement rings and things like that, but there are so many different things that people can come and take a look at, aren't there?
Absolutely, Pam. And I don't want to say it changes every year, but when we stop and think about the strength of any organization, really boils down to their service department. I find right now when I buy appliances or I buy things for my home, a lot of the stores that you buy from will only service those items that they sell. So they're so busy that they want to keep their technicians kind of dedicated to their own products and services. Well, we're thankful that at the House of Stones and Julz, our service department right now, we have a team of 5 members that are all skilled in different areas. And between all of them and between both stores, we process on the average about 200 jobs every week of the year, which is pretty amazing when you think about that. It's about 10,000 jobs per year that go through our shop. The interesting thing is, it's 95% of what comes through our shop we never sold. And what it's taught us what works, what's durable, what's not so durable. So when we manufacture things for sale, we pay attention to all the details, the clasps, the lengths of the chain. And then when you think of an engagement ring that is intended to be worn 24/7, for how many years? We had a gal that was in about 3 weeks ago with her son. And when she comes in the store, I was busy with another couple at the time. But when I say she flashes me, she kind of shows her ring up in the air and has a big smile on her face. And this was an engagement ring I did for her in 1977.
Oh, wow.
That she still wears 24/7. So that's one of the best testimonials that we can have in terms of our products and our services. So when you asked me earlier, you say, what's a variety of different products that we have? Well, we have bridal, of course, that's probably the lion's share, the biggest part. And I'll talk a little bit about engagement ring trends for now. And then we'll talk about our fashion. We'll talk about repurposing in a moment, and we'll also talk about our watches. But if we talk about bridal for the moment, when I started in the 1970s, 1980s, it was all about yellow gold, and yellow gold was king. And gold at that time was, $200 an ounce compared to today about $2,000 an ounce. So back then you could get big, heavy pieces, and they were relatively inexpensive because gold wasn't that expensive at the time. And then you started seeing, round diamonds were always the most popular, but then the marquee, which was the football shape. That you saw it there. We were selling in the late 70s, early 80s, almost as many marquee diamonds as we were round. And then all of a sudden it shifted to the square, the princess cut in the later 1990s. And then you started to see people moving to white gold. And then yellow gold became obsolete, and there was virtually none of it in the showcases. And for the next 20 years, we didn't sell much at all in yellow gold or marquee diamonds. And now all of a sudden, the last couple of years, you've been seeing yellow gold coming back, and we're selling probably more yellow gold this year in bridal than we are in the white gold or platinum, which is really kind of interesting. And the hot shape is oval diamonds.
Yes.
This year, everyone wants an oval diamond, and when we think of ovals, our gemologists, and when you come in, and everyone knows how picky we are in our overseas diamond buying trips. When our team, Melissa, who's our gemologist here at Julz, and our service manager, and Ian, who's our managing director of the House of Stones in New Philadelphia, and our last buying trip that we went to in Antwerp, Belgium, over a period of about 4 days, we looked at over 5,000 diamonds from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. Tough job, isn't it?
Tough job. I feel bad for you.
Diamonds all day long, and in the end of those 5,000 diamonds, we committed to 87 diamonds, and so, which means we passed on 13 diamonds, and that gives you a feeling of how picky we are. So you'll see a ton of ovals in the marketplace because they're so popular. But when you see our oval diamonds, you'll see how special they really are. And, historically, our business has always been, when we think of diamonds, we always think of a product that formed in the earth 100 million years ago. So that engagement ring, that diamond that you're wearing, is the world's oldest antique. When you think of it, about 100 million years, and that's the way it's been for generations and generations. But science, the way science is, and technology the way it is, about 4 or 5 years ago, you started seeing they were able to create a diamond in a laboratory that is physically, optically, and chemically identical to its natural counterpart, except it's man-made. It's cooked in a microwave, basically over a period of a few weeks. Well, when they first came out about 5 years ago, the technology was pretty new, and those diamonds were maybe 25-30% less than the natural counterpart. So it was a pretty attractive thing for that person that really wanted it. But then, as we know, like anything else with technology, as improves over time, computers or televisions, prices start dropping and dropping and dropping. I remember I bought my a 46-inch LCD TV. Oh my goodness, 8 or 9 years ago. Paid about $2,500 for it, and then I bought one about a month ago for $229, or about 1/4 of the price. Well, that's what's happening with lab grown, and the last the first year they dropped about 70%, the next year about 60%, and so they're just continually dropping, and to the point where I had a fellow that was in the store And he was asking me, he says, how do you feel about the future value of a lab-grown diamond? And I told him, I said, well, just imagine this. In a not too distant future, I truly believe that you and your girl will go down, let's say they were in Columbus at the time, Ohio State students. And I said, you're going to go to this cool rooftop bar that's in the short north with that outside patio, and you're going to have drinks and appetizers. And your bill is going to be more expensive than that 2-carat lab-grown diamond. And so where I'm going with that is that, we were talking earlier, at first they were a hot ticket. And then now what we find, and it's never really been for us, we've always been pretty much natural, but we'll accommodate the people. We'll go ahead and special order them if that's really what they want for whatever reasons, or for budget or whatever it happens to be. But our business model is really based on natural diamonds, and we're finding now that the luster is kind of worn on the lab grown, and people are kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, the way nostalgically, the way their grandparents were, their great grandparents, and those traditions that we still hold on to from our past. So that's one of the things that we're seeing a big change in,
and the value of it all.
And the value
of it all, right?
And you heard me mention earlier about the great-great-grandmother that was passing down a necklace from 5 generations to her great-great-granddaughter. And that's something we see now at this point in my career. We see families coming in, passing family heirlooms. And we had one about a week ago where the grandmother gave her engagement ring diamond. She was a widow, and fortunately, and I knew her, pretty much my whole career. But here, her grandson was graduating from college, has a special girl in his life, and she is giving her grandson her original engagement diamond. That is, in the wisdom of MasterCard or Visa, priceless.
Yes.
When it comes to that. So he was in, and we found a beautiful ring mounting, and they're getting married. They're getting engaged this weekend. They're getting engaged this weekend, and so Thanksgiving. So you think Thanksgiving, we think of turkey, we think of everything else. But what do we have to be thankful for? Everything. And in this case here, we've got a couple engagements that are going on this weekend. Yeah.
All right. We're going to take our break for the news. And when we come back, I want to talk about repurposing and some other things, because that's very important to a lot of people, and people who come in with their treasured things like I'm going to do. And we'll talk more about that after the news. We'll take our break. Spotlight, Julz by Alan Rodriguez. And we'll be back on 1480 WHBC.
Hey, Starr County, Andy Logan of Logan Sports in North Canton, feeling blessed to beginning our 48th year serving the surrounding area. Logan Sports has always been Starr County's go-to spot for Ohio State merchandise, but we invite you in to see our wonderful Guardians gear as well as Browns and Cavs. Logan's is quickly becoming Starr County's headquarters for high school letterman's jackets as well. We do every school in the county, all custom made with top-notch quality and service. Logan Sports has a complete line of embroidery and screening as well for your high school or business needs. Stop into Logan Sports and see what everyone is talking about.
WHBC AM 10, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, an Elyria mother and her boyfriend have been charged with child endangerment after her 4-year-old son was found wandering the streets in the cold rain yesterday. Officers found the boy walking alone, wearing a minimal amount of clothing just after 6 a.m. He was taken to the police station. Took officers 3 hours to identify the boy and then find his house. They determined that neither the child's mother or father, ages 23 and 24, took proper precautions to prevent the boy from leaving the house unsupervised. North Canton city officials plan to ask voters in March for a 0.25% income tax hike to fend off a $1.5 million budget shortfall. It all comes after council had considered repealing its current income tax credit. They heard an outcry from residents against that. Christmas tree shortage in your area? Well, if you have a hatchet and $5, you have a Christmas tree option you may not have thought of. The U.S. Forest Service is encouraging Americans to cut down their Christmas tree at a nearby participating federally protected forest. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says that cutting down Christmas trees improves forest health and Permits cost either $5 or $10. Over 300,000 permits were sold in 2020 at recreation.gov. Monday's Super Bowl rematch between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs drew more viewers than Monday Night Football has seen in nearly 3 decades. An average of 28.9 million people tuned in to watch the Eagles beat the Chiefs. That's according to Sports Media Watch. It makes the game the most viewed Monday Night Football presentation since November of 1996. For News Talk 1480 WHBC, I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. A passing shower, some clouds this morning. It'll be partly sunny by afternoon. High today 44. Partly cloudy tonight and a low 34. Thanksgiving Day sunshine, the high 49. And then clear skies tomorrow night, low 32. Clouds and sun on Friday, the high only 40. Sun and clouds for Saturday morning, turning into a cloudy afternoon. The high Saturday at 41. Plan with confidence at AccuWeather.com. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
It's our best Black Friday ever at JCPenney, and we've got thousands of deals all week long. Spoil someone and save up to 75% on fine jewelry after an extra 40% off. Step into women's boots. All her faves are $19.99. Plus, stock up on Home Expressions bath towels, only $2.99 each. From holiday helpers to gift ideas, all the deals, all the fun, all in store. JCPenney, make your holidays count. Offers valid on select styles in store through 11/26. Exclusions apply. Black Friday deals excluded from coupons. See associate for details.
This holiday season, Famous Footwear is the place to shop the season's hottest shoes for the whole family with the Famous BOGO event. For a limited time, when you buy one pair, get the second half off from all your favorite brands like New Balance, Bear Paw, Adidas, and more. Give the gift of famously great shoes and savings this holiday season. Shop famous.com or bring the family into a Famous Footwear near you. Buy one item, get a second item of equal or lesser value for half price. Some exclusions apply.
Medicine Center pharmacies have been serving our local community for over 40 years. Our customers know they can count on our pharmacy staff, save money, and trust us. Stop by any of our Medicine Center pharmacy locations in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia, or visit us online at medshoprx.com.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
Hi, this is Alan Rodriguez from Julz in downtown Canton in the House of Stones in New Philadelphia. Having spent 43 years in the romance business, I've been a part of thousands of engagements, weddings, births, and countless celebrations of life. Let our in-house staff of jewelers, award-winning designers, gemologists, and our professional sales team create an incredible experience that becomes a lifelong memory. Visit us soon at Julz in downtown Canton in the House of Stones in New Philadelphia, when it's just too important to trust anyone else.
Winter is coming, so be prepared with Verndale Water Experts de-icing products. If you need one bag for your sidewalk or a trailer load for your parking lot, Verndale has it. So be ready when the snow flies and call Verndale Water Experts today.
Verndale's Water Center.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And this is Spotlight on 1480 WHBC. I'm Pam Cook. And of course, you can listen to us on the radio. You can watch us live on Facebook right now and also on our YouTube channel. And if you want to check back and watch us anytime, just find our YouTube channel and subscribe. You can do that by searching 1480 WHBC on YouTube. And this morning, our spotlight is Julz by Alan Rodriguez. And we have Alan with us this morning. And we've been talking about just all kinds of fun stuff, just things that warm my heart, I have to say. And you know, Alan, I've talked to you so much over the years about how, you know, my parents had the family jeweler in Pittsburgh for a very long time, so much so that I remember his name. It's almost like, you know, my mom says the family jeweler and I can just say his name and say, oh yeah, we used to make the trip. And we did, you know, we took every piece down there for him to fix, or they went there on every special occasion and had, you know, pieces made or that kind of stuff. And I have this ring that was my great grandmother's, my mom's grandmother's, that I was the only one allowed to have because it was ruby and diamonds. And I'm the only girl in the family that was born in July, just like my great grandmother. So she held it till I was 21. So at that time, so that's 40 years ago. I got the ring 40 years ago. And at that time, I think the ring was probably at least 30 years old. So it's an old ring, but I can't wear it. It's a little too small. And I don't know. I'm afraid. So I'm going to bring it to you. My mom and I are going to come and visit you. So you can look at it and we can see what we can do. But if you didn't exist, I probably would have that ring sitting in a box, in a jewelry box somewhere. And I probably would do nothing with it if there wasn't a person like you in town,
Well, thank you, Pam, for that, for that confidence. And when you think about the relationships and in life, that relationships are the backbone of our brand. And when we talked about earlier, generations upon generations, no different than yourself. And in the old days, it would be someone that would be deceased. And then the kids would inherit those pieces. And we still have a good bit of that. But now what we're finding is that these grandparents are starting to give these pieces while they're still alive to special kids, so they can watch, they can witness that. We had someone that was in this weekend, as a matter of fact. The kids are coming in from out of town, and we took some of the grandmother's pieces that she'd given to her daughter, and we are repurposing those into different pieces of jewelry: necklaces, earrings, bracelet, ring, and those are being given to the granddaughters. Well, they're coming in, and the grandmother doesn't know about this. So what's happening? They're going to be visiting her over Thanksgiving, or they're going to be with her over Thanksgiving, and they're going to surprise her, and they're all going to have these new pieces that we did using diamonds that went back to her grandmother. So I can't even do the math when I think of that. And when we talk about fulfillment, gratification, and to be a part of that is that, the emotional drivers that motivate us each and every day. And from the very beginning of the show, I've been benefiting from that my entire career, which is one of the coolest things ever. And so we talk about that. You say repurposing. So sometimes you talked about your ruby and diamond ring. Well, what happens? I had a situation where there were 4 daughters, and they all loved their mother's ring, and so she didn't know what to do. She couldn't just give it to just one of them. It wasn't a birthstone, but it was just a piece that I think had belonged to her mother before that. And so she came in, and what did we do? But we recreated 3 additional rings identical to the first one.
Wow.
And we had to take it a step further, because we had to create a ring that aged to the point where it looked like it was 50 years old. And then we had them all in 4 boxes. And so we didn't know, we couldn't really tell what was the original and what was a new one. Very, very difficult to do.
I bet.
But to do that. So you imagine when all of you are together and you're thinking, okay, I get my mother's ring. And then you open, all 4 of them open it up, and they all have that ring, and they don't know which one was the original one. So the sentiment, the feeling kind of goes there. And then you'll have the ones that come in, and I talked earlier about, the 1970s and how pieces were big, and the term that, I don't know if this new generation, the term gaudy, when someone says, oh, it's so gaudy, because so extreme and so big, I'd never wear something like this. Well, 2 things. Number one, Gaudi is actually a reference and a little bit of trivia to a world famous architect from Barcelona, Spain, by the name of Antonio Gaudi. and Gaudi. And so you can Google it, look it up. And what happened was he was an architect that in the late 1800s was totally off the wall, crazy, very creative, and went completely different than anything you saw in conventional architecture. And so it's so extreme that whenever people saw his architecture, they said, "Oh, it's so gaudy because it's so extreme."
Very good.
That term kind of carried its way over. So what do we do with those pieces? We take them apart and we simplify them, because, my goal, in the old days, the buzzword of cocktail ring. Well, cocktail ring, you only wear it when you go out for cocktails. And I'm thinking, what's this all about? And when I was a kid, my mother and my father on Friday nights, they would get all dressed up. It would be date night, and my dad would be wearing a suit. My mom would have her best dress, and she would pull out her jewelry, fancy jewelry, and then they would go to Mergis's. I don't know if were you from Canton? Mergis's.
No.
Was in downtown Canton, Mergis's was a steakhouse, Frank Mergis, and it would be either Bender's or Mergis's as to fine dining back in those days. If you wanted to go, Top Chalet, there were a couple
Top Chalet,
of the old places that Bender's is the only one that still exists. But they would go there, but then they'd come home, the jewelry would go back in a drawer, and boom, it wouldn't get worn till the next time. Well, life as we find at this point in our lives is too short. And our philosophy and our brand is how can we create a fine piece of jewelry that can be worn casually, that can be worn day in and day out, can be worn with a yoga outfit if you wanted to, or with the best dress in town. So getting away from the formality of the old styles of the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I actually even go back further than that, 1930s, 1940s, when you see some of the brooch pins. We took apart those big diamond brooches that wasn't going to be worn. The last place in the world I want to see something like that is in a jewelry box. I've had them where people have come in the store. They go, "This has been in my jewelry box for 40 years." And I go, 40 years? Their life is gone. They could have taken this thing apart. And then finally we do it. Unfortunately, we do it for someone else, and not for them. Yeah. They should have done it for themselves, because your kids are going to inherit something and they're going to do what they want. So let's do something now with it. And we're very, very fortunate because the talent that we have, our jeweler, Tim Stern, Stern, that's another name. People might remember Stern Mans.
That
was his father. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when you think of fine retail, they were the Nordstroms of Canton, Ohio. And when people wanted something special, they would go to Stern Mans or Vickery's. I think those are the two downtown stores that you would see. Well, Tim has been with us for 1989. So I'm trying to do the math. 34 years. Yes.
Yeah.
He's 34, going in 35 years with the store, and so he's amazing when it comes. We have the technology and the skills to really perform either intricate restoration of pieces if we wanted to, or completely take them apart and refabricate them. And you have to be very creative, and you have to be purposeful, when we sit down with someone, because it's almost like going to an interior designer and you say, "I want to redo my living room," or "I want to redo my home. I have ideas." And so you come in with your thoughts. Well, we listen, we talk, we show and tell, and then we create little stories. I'm a storyteller, of course. And,
absolutely.
And we create little stories, and then it kind of guides them in something that feels right. And so thankfully, we've got the skill, the talent to be able to execute 100%.
Yeah. And then the moral of the story is don't leave things in jewelry boxes. That's the moral of the story. All right, we're going to take our final break. And when we come back, we'll wrap things up. Julz by Alan Rodriguez and House of Stones in New Philadelphia on Spotlight, 1480 WHBC.
Hi, this is Alan Rodriguez from Julz, the area's newest, most unique fine jewelry store, located in downtown Canton. What makes us special? You'll see it in the beauty of our diamonds. You'll feel it in the craftsmanship of our jewelry, and you'll believe it with the professionalism of our staff. From our in-house full-time jewelers to our national award-winning designers, our genuine desire is to provide an exceptional jewelry buying experience at Julz in downtown Canton and Rodriguez's House of Stones in New Philadelphia.
Don't miss Provember at Lowe's. Save $80 on a DeWalt combo kit and save $20 on a 5-gallon pail of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams All-Purpose Power Primer. Plus, MVP's members earn 3 times the bonus points on DeWalt and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams products. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Bonus points calculated before tax and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 11/22, subject to change.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January, because you know, mulch. We're cutting prices on your favorite brands this holiday season. Save on Milwaukee, Steel, and Lincoln Electric in-store or at northerntool.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-775-5622. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-775-5622. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-775-5622. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
This holiday season, Famous Footwear is the place to shop the season's hottest shoes for the whole family with the Famous BOGO event. For a limited time, when you buy one pair, get the second half off from all your favorite brands like New Balance, Bear Paw, Adidas, and more. Give the gift of famously great shoes and savings this holiday season. Shop famous.com or bring the family into a Famous Footwear near you. Buy one item, get a second item of equal or lesser value for half price. Some exclusions apply.
Parents, are you tired of helping put your kids' shoes on? They're squirming, watching cartoons, anything but helping. Luckily, it's Skechers to the rescue. Introducing new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear you can just get your kids to step into and their shoes are on. You don't need to bend over. You don't need to sit on the floor and try to wrangle them on. And they're available in all types of Skechers styles with and without laces, and most are machine washable. Find Skechers slip-ins for kids or mom and dad at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Join us Thursday and Friday for special broadcasts of the Hackenberg Financial Group's newest program, The Music Time Machine. Hosts Larry Hackenberg and Jennifer Dasson take you through 2 of music history's most significant events. On Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, from 10 to noon, it's the day the music died.
So we wanted to reconstruct the day the music died.
Then on Friday, from 10 to noon, it's the story of Woodstock.
Did they sing this song at Woodstock?
Interesting story.
Take a trip through music history with The Music Time Machine. Thursday 10 to noon and Friday 10 to noon. Right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no 2 people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. J.D. Power now ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. Save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. End Cyber Monday. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, we're going to wrap up our Spotlight this morning. Julz by Alan Rodriguez and House of Stones in New Philadelphia. We've been talking with Alan this morning and just so many different things, obviously, that we've been discussing. But, you know, it's always good to hear that you're I don't know, you've been doing this for so long, Alan, and you've really never changed your business model. I think that's that's the important thing. People have the generation after generation that comes back to you. That's an important thing.
Pam, as I said earlier, that's a part of my DNA. And if it works, it's worked thankfully for us for my entire career. But, I think, as I said earlier on, life is all about feeling good. And so if we can make people feel good, and I think in the world that we live in, at this point in my life, it's nostalgia that makes me feel good. And when I think of the early days, you remember when you were a kid, did your parents bring you downtown and you would look at the windows, the way the windows would be decorated? I remember Stern and Mann's windows, the way the downtown stores, the Christmas tree that would go up downtown. And you just had that nostalgic feeling of the season. And Stones in New Philadelphia, I highly recommend if someone wants to take a trip down south into Tuscarawas County. It's about a half hour south of Canton, but it's really a step back in time in our downtown. The way it's decorated for Christmas, I always affectionately refer to it as a slice of Mayberry. And I say that our generation remembers Mayberry very well. I talk to these younger kids, and they look at me like, "What is that?" But for those, it was one of those feel good shows in a feel good town. And the way Ian has transformed that store for the holidays is it takes you as he's kind of a 1950s kid at heart, and he even has a 1962 car that he drives every day. So he lives in that era. So he's kind of done the store, kind of taking it back in time. We have this tree in our quadrant that, as a matter of fact, the Christmas tree that is in our quadrant was exactly the same tree that Easton has in their center tree. This beautiful, it has this multicolored display type of a thing. So it's a little bit of a Disney-like experience when you go down there. So definitely recommend it. It's a great trip down there. Stop in the store, get a little feeling of nostalgia. Downtown Canton, Julz, when you see that, you drive up north on Cleveland Avenue between 5th and 6th, you see our cube stand out right away. There's this 12-foot tree that's all illuminated right there. Yeah. And it takes you back to that time in our life when things were simpler, more nostalgic, and we think of those people that are closest and dearest to us. And when we want to commemorate that and celebrate that with something that demonstrates our love and appreciation for what they do in our lives.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you feel. I used to live in Tuscarawas County and would go down to Newtown Mall, and go through the square and House of Stones. You're right. It was always just, I couldn't wait till Christmas to see, how it looked. And it's a wonderful thing to have a chance to take a look at. People should do that. And with your store here in Canton, it's the same way. But I think it's just the whole experience. If people want to get in touch with you, tell folks what your hours are, and if they want to sit down with you and talk to you for an extended period of time, it's probably a good idea that they set up an appointment, correct?
Exactly, Pam, because what it is that, we, of course, will take walk-ins this time of year, but the store is closed Sunday and Monday. We'll be open the last week before Christmas, so everyone can kind of get. I told you earlier, I used to be able to do these 120-hour weeks, and anymore we got to conserve all our energy. And so we're still closed Sunday and Monday, but from basically 10 o'clock to 5:30, Tuesday through Saturday, and so it's call me, because I really want, for anyone that knows me, I'm a one-on-one person, and so if you can kind of block out some time on my calendar, I'm happy to sit down with you. I can totally focus on specifically your needs. I hate for someone to come in with something that's important to them, and then I'm working with someone else, can't break away, or I have to dilute that experience. I'd rather give you 100% of what I got with the time that I'm with you.
330-455-5555. Very easy.
Easy number to remember.
Yes, it is. Visit Alan. And thank you for coming on today, Alan. And you have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you. And glad to be with you as always, Pam. We'll look forward to seeing you and your mother when you come in.
I will. I will.
Your water softener works